Hi guys, how are you? That's how we'll do it. Because we don't have enough money for assistance and stuff yet, so the girls can. Hi, it's your favorite auntie uncle. It's Miss D of Sipping Tea with Miss D, and this is my new season. We turned a year old, September the 21st, and my first guest is no other than Mr. Julius Mc Fly, bitches, okay?
Thank you so much.
The Hunt for McFly is his book. It's out now. Some of you girls may know Julius. He's a New York City, tri-state area icon. I want to say that.
Wait, I'm an icon?
Icon. LaToya Jackson giggle, right? By Gay Code family, a Gay Code alumni. Yes. So for the people who don't know who you are, Julius, tell them who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name is Julius Mc Fly. Obviously, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I am a community health worker in HIV and AIDS prevention, helping ending the epidemic of HIV and AIDS.
Now, is it still an epidemic?
It is still an epidemic, baby.
It's a controlled epidemic.
We're almost under control. Prep.
And you can learn about that on an episode of Gay Code that we did eons ago. We've been telling the girls about PrEP. What's the difference between PEP and PrEP?
Yes.
Okay.
Prevention.
So prevention. So how long have you been doing that now?
I have only been working in HIV and AIDS for 2 years now. Actually, I'll be 2 years in November.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So if you're in the New Jersey tri-state area and you want to go somewhere and be, how do you say it, discreet.
And come and get tested.
And
you want to get on PrEP. You need to link into care for HIV treatment. I am at St. Michael's Medical Center. Pull up and I got you.
Now, tell them where we met at. Because, we met in the clubs. It had to be, because I know that I met you bartending-wise before I met you before we did Gay Code.
Right. So while I was bartending in Harlem at El Morocco.
Yes, El Morocco. Yes.
Pull up. I think you were
on
Bryce's list. So all of your cocktails were comped. So you used to pull up to the bar like, "Hi, where's my cocktail?" And I would be like, "Bryce, is this bitch on your list?" "Okay, here."
I love Bryce. I appreciate Bryce.
I love him too.
Bryce has afforded us many good situations, and I appreciate Bryce. He always shows you love. He's one of the less shady Sagittariuses that I know in my life, honestly, to tell you the truth. All the rest of the Sag girls did not give it up like Bryce, but shout out to Bryce. But yes, that's where we probably met, and then we became Gay Code family through ESOM and doing Gay Code and all that kind of stuff, making the girls giggle and talking about certain topics in the gay community. But now, today, we are here to talk about the Hunt for McFly. So when I honestly first met you, I never thought that I'd be sitting on the couch with you in Newark interviewing you in your home about your book, right?
Right.
How long in the making was this book?
This book literally took me 10 years to write.
Now, how long did it take you to put the book together?
To put the book together, it took me maybe only 5 months.
Oh, get out.
So it really didn't even have to take that long. I was just bullshitting, procrastinating. I started writing the book while I was in jail in 2011.
Oh, okay.
I started writing it. I started like the first 2 chapters, and then in between my sentence, I was working on her. Then when I came home, I was just like, girl, I went to prison. I made it out. I'm going to write a book and it's going to be cute. But, coming home, trying to get back into life and getting back to the scene and partying a little and started working, I kind of like fell off with my writing. So like my close friends would be like, "Miss Thing, are you working on your book?" And I'm like, yeah. 2013 came. "Are you working on your book?" "Yeah." 2015, 2016. So I'm like, bitch, stop asking me about the book. When I have time, I'm gonna write it. And then I came across, Dwight Allen O'Neill?
Yes.
I linked up with him.
I love Dwight.
And I was just like, Dwight, how did you write your book? How did you sit down? How did you bust it out? Who edited your book? He was just like, you just gotta make time. Write whenever you can. Write when you're in the bed watching TV. Write when you just had a date leave.
Right.
Write when you're on the toilet. Just start writing.
So kind of like Brandy, when she used to write in her diary, like her Dear Diary moment, or like a Sarah Jessica Parker moment, is that when people are supposed to people really write like that.
Right. Literally. So
okay.
I was like, okay, I want to get this book done. He introduced me to his editor, Mr. Nathan James out of Philadelphia. He was just like, look, let's get this book together. I'm going to give you some deadlines. I need you to send me your first 5 chapters on Friday. So I'm like, but it's Monday. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. Boom. Sent him the first 5 chapters. He edited them. And then I just kind of got back in the groove of just like writing and telling my story. And I was just having so much fun just recounting shit that happened, you know, in my childhood, in jail, the boys, the trade. And I was like, okay, the girls are going to enjoy this. And that just kind of gave me the motivation because I was like, this story is just going to be so good. I know that people are just going to enjoy this, the shit that I've been through, that everyone can relate to. And if you can't, you know people who've been through like the shit that I've been through.
You know, the girls very much give it up. A lot of girls, or crafty girls, is a gay term that we talked about on Gay Code and stuff like that.
Yes.
So when you, because he asked me several times, did you read the book, Miss Thing? Did you read the book? And I said, yes, I've read some of the book, but I don't want to give all of the book to the girls because we want the girls to go get the book.
Available on Amazon or on my page at The Hunt for McFly.
So when you first, because I know that you went to school for radio, television broadcasting.
Yes.
Now, before you were you always a writer? Because it doesn't that I don't just see you just waking up and being like, I'm going to write this.
No. So while I was in college, I went to a poetry slam, and one of my homegirls, she just kept telling me, come. It's so cute on Thursday nights in the student union. So I was like, girl, I don't care about no poetry. I'm trying to study. I'm trying to pledge Kappa. Like, I don't care about poetry. So I came one day, and it was just a really cool vibe. It was all these, you know, men with incense and dreads and all that. The very shazazz of it all. Yes. So I was kind of like, oh.
Giving
and then she went up and she started reading, and she's just like, I was sitting in class and my clitoris started throbbing. I went to my dorm and my nipples got hard. And I was just listening to her, and I was like, bitch. I was like, you know what? I want to try too. So she was like, you should write a piece and read it next Thursday. So I said, okay. So I went back to my room and I was just thinking, and I was just like, So last week I met this dude at the chat line. So I was just kind of like, he came into my dorm.
So many good
I
stories
pulled down his
chat
box.
line,
Right. So I just wrote a piece and I read it, and people just kind of like loved it. So every Thursday I just started writing like an erotic piece.
Right, okay.
So the last time I wrote anything was in 2002.
Oh. Get out.
Right. I'm not a writer, and I don't even read books.
And you said you finished this in 5 months?
Well, the actual, like, putting it together.
Okay.
Like, it was 5 long months of writing and editing and going back and forth and just trying to figure out what works, what does not work, and how to best tell my story.
Right. Now, was it a traumatic thing going back to all of this stuff?
No.
Did you prepare yourself? Like, how did you prepare yourself mentally to go? Because you had to travel back in time, basically.
Yeah.
Right? To tell the story.
Yeah. It was only like 10 years ago.
I know. But it's still traveling to a place that you might not have been so happy to be in some instances.
It wasn't the best point in my life.
Right. It wasn't the best point in your life. How did you prepare yourself to go back to that place?
I just poured me a cocktail, sat here on this couch on my laptop, and sit and think. Ooh. I remember when I went to his cell and, oh, bitch, when we almost got caught.
Right.
Oh, bitch, when Miss Thing was gonna stab me. And like.
Now, I know in the book you use, everyone in the book has an alias.
Yes, the names have been changed for the girls that are gonna try to sue me still.
Now, have you had girls that know who they are no matter that the alias is there? Like reach out to you and try to sue you?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I mean, you're only telling your truth. So how could they, you know?
Yeah, there was a thing that I had changed in the book that I said about a friend that even though I used a different name, I didn't really get her approval. Something in her past. And, she read the book and she's like, I'm so proud of you. The book is really good, very well written. But, my husband didn't really appreciate the fact that you said blah, blah, blah about me without, asking me. And I was just kind of like, you know what? I didn't think about that. I'm sorry. I can change it because I self-published through Amazon KDP. Literally, I can go in and change whatever I want. And then, the future copies printed won't have what I put in it. So I was able to change that, and I felt kind of bad. Like, you know what? That part wasn't necessary because I'm telling my story. I don't have to necessarily tell her business.
Right, but she's lucky you even want to involve her. Bitches always feeling themselves. She's lucky you even thought about her enough to involve her.
Yeah,
Because she would have been hurt if you left her out.
Possibly, but, you know.
You have to respect people's spaces and wishes.
There's certain things that are conducive to my story and certain things that are not. So, you know, this was my first book. I definitely learned what needs to be in, what does not need to be in, and how to fix it.
Now, do you remember the first day, the first craft ever? Can you remember back to that day? Not the particular one of that's in the book.
Right.
The one
every time it's in a book.
Oh, okay.
Every time.
Okay.
So the book starts from 2011 when me and two other friends were cashing checks at Walmart.
Crunching cookies.
Which
I got excited when he was talking about crunching cookies. I thought, he was crunching cookies. Latoya Jackson giggle. So he was crunching the cookies, but
The book is based on, the actions that took place in 2011.
Okay.
But in 2001, I was dating this guy who was crunching cookies, making checks, and, writing checks at Borders Books in the World Trade Center, writing for $500 books and wait 7 days and then take her back for that return and get that coin. So that was my first little start.
Each one to each one.
Each one to each one. So I would go, he would write me a check, got me a little fake ID from Christopher Street, when it used to be
the Pakistanians that were making
it would be like tattoos over here and IDs over here. Mm-hmm. You can get a cute little Illinois
Or
ID.
doing a good $5 New York City t-shirt and then you go with the back
and get a face. ID is a face. And, I started writing my little checks in the World Trade Center, the original World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. And doing like my little returns, and then I was bold, bitch, at 20 years old, going into PNC Bank, cashing a fake fucking check.
And she's not even around really anymore.
PNC Bank?
PNC,
yes.
PNC, okay.
PNC.
I don't see them in the city too much.
No, she's in Jersey.
So it's not like you and you don't make it like that in the book, like somebody put that to your head. You did say that you had a fear of doing whatever you want to do first, and it kind of became a thrill.
It was a thrill.
Yeah. It became like, okay, I did this first one, I was nervous as shit, but here we go.
It went through, I can do this is nothing.
Right. But can you imagine the multi-millionaire, billionaires, people faking lifestyles, calling themselves sultans in Sudan, sultans from Sudan and so forth and so on that are crunching cookies? It seems like they always go after the little guy, the little black and brown guy. How do you feel about the, should we say, cookie crunching culture today? Because it's very publicized now. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, people glorify people scamming and crunching cookies and,
You feel like it's glamorized?
Yes.
I don't feel like it.
Because we're men of a certain generation. So amongst us, our generation, it's not a thing. It's not a thing anymore because the crafty girl has almost died out, right?
Right. I don't feel
the
like
kids today is like, no. There's a kid on. I see a show on a documentary about them, like different forms of scamming going on now.
Really?
Yes.
I want to see.
And these kids are promoting a scam Bible. Like
you have to forward that.
Yes. They're telling the rest of the kids in a scam Bible what to do to get on. And he became a rapper. And he's telling the kids, so what his form of music that he does is he raps about telling the kids how to get on with scamming.
What started his name?
We can't say his name. I'll tell you his name after because I don't want her to come scam me and get coins from me.
That's interesting. Okay.
So I thought you realized that there's a scam culture being glorified today. I thought that was the push behind the book also. Like, if you see, like, oh, these kids is over here throwing this in the air and everybody's a scammer. Everybody. I just see, like, all the kids talking about everybody's scamming.
Where I go, I don't hear anyone talking about scamming.
I mean, I'm playing with the young boys, so maybe that's where that comes from.
I never hear
but
that. I mean,
in the city, the kids are talking about everybody being scamming and scammers and cards and crunching cookies and everything. So I thought that kind of was like the final push for you to say, like, God damn it, if they're glorifying this, I'm going to write this book and tell my story. Tell them what the real thing is.
So the funny thing is, like, I don't really come, so even though I'm like from the hood, I'm from the projects, I'm not from the street.
Right.
So like growing up, you know, like in high school and stuff like that, I wasn't, fortunately, I wasn't kicked out of my house. I wasn't living on a pier. I wasn't between different shelters.
Thank God for that.
Thank God for that, trying to figure out how to survive. So know that there are girls out there scamming and crafting as a tactic for surviving.
Or a way to get more money at balls and so forth and so on. Too.
Right. So for me, I got introduced to, like I said, the guy I was dealing with like in college, and I was just kind of like a part-time gig for me. It wasn't like a means of survival. So if the check went through, I wasn't gonna like die. I would be like, okay, because I was going to work on Monday.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So because I don't really come from probably that culture, and then like now I don't really have any friends that are
into that lifestyle.
I don't even know what's talked about.
Or they might not be telling you they're into that lifestyle too.
No, baby, I would know.
Okay.
I would know. I would be like, Miss Thing,
girl,
how do you have Prada boots, girl? You only work at the gym.
Right.
I would know. So, like, my circle, you know, isn't into that, and my circle wasn't even into that before. That's why they kind of like stepped back, like, Julius, where you getting all that shit from? I'm like, what shit, girl?
Right. LaToya Jackson gave away. So we talked about the friend who had a little tiffy about her part or something you put in the book about her. Uh-huh. How have your family and friends perceived, like, you know, how are they perceiving the book? Like, what is the feedback that you're getting about the book?
All the feedback that I've received about my book has been great. Everyone has loved the book. Not one person has told me, like, the feedback has been great. The support has been great. I was a little worried because I didn't let my mom read the book before I released it. And I talked about, you know, my childhood. I talked about, you know, domestic violence, witnessing domestic violence as a child with her and her boyfriend. And I talked about my brother who was trans, about kind of like his experience and his trans journey without getting their approval. And, you know, they didn't have any issue. They read the book when it came out. They didn't
I don't, you don't strike me as to be like just adding the smoke and mirrors and stuff. I feel like, I've read some of that stuff and I feel like you can kind of tell that because the way you described it in the book or the way that you told it in the book. Like, it didn't come off like, okay, hey, fuck it. You know, when they read it, they'll get it or whatever kind of thing. But it's like, it's your truth, though. It's not like you're not telling your truth, you know?
It's my truth, but, you know, when I'm talking about someone else, it's kind of like also their truth and their business. And they didn't necessarily, you know, give me their approval to do that. So I'm just happy that...
So why didn't you do it, though?
Why didn't I get the approval?
Yes.
I was like, Miss Thing, pay it. This is my story and my truth.
Exactly.
But after the fact, and talking to a few people who have written books and who are lawyers and stuff like that, it's like, you probably should have, you know, let them read those chapters first. You probably should have let them know what's going to be published. And I was just kind of like, it's fine.
So what reaction did you get from your mother, though? Because I know your mother's no nonsense. She's a very strong, no nonsense woman.
She is, and she's a Scorpio.
Yes. Oh, and she gives Scorpio. Look at Scorpio, shape is Scorpio. Like, she gives you Scorpio woman. Haircut is Scorpio. Like, she gives you Scorpio. My mother got the same cut.
Same laws.
My mother's a Pisces, so we're all water signs. So I think that's a water sign woman thing. Okay. How does she feel?
She loved the book. She told me she was proud of me. She wasn't offended by anything I said in the book. And, you know, as long as my mom is proud of me, she's happy for me, she doesn't have any worries, then...
Because he's a mama's boy, so she's never going to not...
I'm definitely a mama's boy.
Love him down. She's always going to love him down.
I would tell anybody I'm a motherfucking mama's boy.
He glorifies it being a mama's boy.
Hashtag mama's boy.
Okay, so there's a part in the book...
Okay.
If it's okay...
Yes, let's dig in.
For me to read it to you.
Okay.
if that's okay. Now, this is where I should have highlighted this at. But I probably don't even really need to highlight it because I even called my aunt and I read it to her.
And what she gave? She keyed?
I read her. I read a couple of chapters to her. We read the book on the phone together.
Okay.
It's the one when you talked about when you first initially caught you, and you call your mother.
Okay.
And you're talking about God. That you don't know the last time that you got on your knees and praised God.
Right.
How do you get to praising God? Like how did you prepare yourself to go to God and talk to him about certain things that you want to talk about?
So in that chapter, I was just like really scared because, that was when I got caught. I got taken to the county jail down in Salisbury, Maryland. And that first night in the county, because I had to appear before like a judge just for to hear what the charges are going to give, what the bail is going to give. I was just laying there like, oh my God, I'm going to gag. Like, what is it about to give? These guys are going to lock me. Maybe they'll let me go. And then I come back for a hearing. So I was just like, damn, God, like, please don't let them keep me here. Like, I'm not built for this. I've never been in jail. And like in the book, I'm just reflecting on like, so wait, how am I going to ask God to like give me mercy and ask
After
God
when
to
I was
help
turning
me.
up and doing
Yeah,
all
like
that
when I
stuff.
haven't been to church in maybe 3 or 4 years. I haven't, prayed at night for any type of just giving him glory for giving me life. And then now I'm gonna ask you to get me out of jail for some shit that I was doing that was illegal and taking people's money that they work hard for. So that was just kind of me trying to be just as open and honest and vulnerable with my thoughts. So like, damn, I'm here, I'm gagging. Bitch, I'm about to go to jail and I want God to help me, but am I worthy of his help? Am I worthy of his mercies?
Right.
So that's what.
So how do you feel about religion now? Like not religion, but spirituality and stuff now. Like, what's your? I mean, I'm sure. How do you feel? Like, how do you go to God now? You wrote the book. You told your story. So how do you talk to God now?
I believe in God. I haven't been to church since.
No, I'm not talking about church.
No,
I
I'm
ain't been to
saying-
church in a while neither.
Yeah, I haven't been to church since before the pandemic, and you certainly don't have to go to church to praise God, to talk to God, to have a relationship with him, and to, just put him first. I haven't prayed to God in a while, but I know that I am his child. He is my father, and I believe in God and Jesus and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
No, that when and you should too. When I read that part of the book, I was like, wow, like, because it's like, I don't think people, when you're doing your thing and just like, you're getting in and you're hustling and you're doing whatever kind of hustle, some people don't really stop to think like, okay, no matter if it's good or bad, I should shout some praise, give some praise, get on my knees and praise for just waking up in the morning and that kind of thing. I like that you said that, like, So when it comes to being, because you were locked in Baltimore. Baltimore's my second home.
Ooh, I don't ever want to go back there, baby.
Have you been back to Baltimore?
Yes. I've been back to visit Hassan, one of the boyfriends, after the fact, after I got released. He got released about 6 years later. I went back for like a little half. I said I'm never coming here again.
Have you seen Hassan recently or in the past couple of years?
The last time I saw him was in 2019.
So pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic, that was the last time I seen Hassan. And then boyfriend number one.
See, I don't want to you the author of the book, you can give it all away to them. I want them to buy the book. So
I want them too, but they're gonna want to know more about boyfriend number one and boyfriend number two.
Right.
He came home last year in 2020, and when I went down to DC for the March on Washington, I got a hotel room. We had kind of like a little
rendezvous. Things
were different back then
than
they are now in real life.
Now, when you see them for the rendezvous and stuff, did you say, hey, in a couple of months, I'm going to write this book?
Yeah. Yeah, he knew that I was writing the book. I told him even while he was still in jail, because like while he was still in jail, I was still like writing him and sending him pictures and sending him money when I can. And I told him I was working on the book. And then once the book came out, I told him that the book is out, and he was just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna order it, but I don't really want my girl to see this book. So I'm like, okay, girl, whatever.
It's crazy to me that they build these relationships with us because I have a love and a fondling for discreet men, because I don't like to say on the down low. Because
That's so old.
Down on the down low. When people say on the down low, I just be looking at them like,
what do you
I
mean?
don't think these people are really on the down low, because you're not telling us everything that you do sexually or what you do in your home or behind closed doors and all that kind of stuff, because everything ain't for everybody. You know? We have we can appreciate a discreet person. Right? When it comes to what did you leave out of the book? I always like to ask people who write books, what did you leave out of the book?
I would have to think very deeply, but I literally put everything in this book. Like, there are people who have been friends with me for 10 and 15 years, and there's stuff in the book that they didn't even know about. Like, every single thought, every insecurity, even when I was a kid and I felt ugly, like a little black, big lip, big eared boy that none of the girls liked, and the light-skinned dudes with wavy hair that was in my class that the girls paid attention to. I put those thoughts in, I put everything in this book. This is gonna sound cliche. I put my heart and my soul and my blood and my tears in this book.
And it's very hard for a Leo man to do. Right? It's very hard for a Leo man. As a Leo man reading this book, I have to commend you. Because Leo men are very, no matter what, back to what, you see, I put it on Do Not Disturb. So back to what we were saying about kids crunching cookies now. What would your advice be to the kids crunching cookies?
Don't do it. They will always find you. It might not be next month or week, but they will always find you. The scamming shit for clothes, drugs, outfits for the next ball. Don't do it. There's always a better way. There's always a legal way. It might not be as quick and it might not be as lucrative as, I don't even know what the kids do now. Like, my little cash and check. I don't know what they go. Whatever the girls are doing now, it seems pretty lucrative. No shade.
Right. No shade.
The girls get pieces.
No, they're like the girls. The girls are pushing.
I don't know what they do, but stop. Please stop. Stop. Get a job. There are other means. Make OnlyFans.
That's a form of, even at getting a little...
Just for fans, because OnlyFans is stopping pornographic material.
No,
right?
they're not doing it anymore. The
They changed their mind?
of it, it wasn't them stopping, adult content. It was about something with the credit card companies not wanting to be affiliated with people like using their bodies or saying
I thought it was just OnlyFans was stopping.
It was like a sex work controversy. I believe. Something like that.
But then they say, you know what? We changed our mind. Business is booming.
What did they complain about?
Keep going.
Like, how are you going to tell people how to make money? It's how are you going to tell people what to do with their reproductive system? How are you going to tell people that they're not trans? How are you still telling people what to do with themselves?
Right.
Like the world would be a lot better if you stop telling people what to do with themselves. Okay. Let people do what they do. So when it gets into the line of the career that you're in now, what do you love about it? Like, what drives you to go to work every day and do what you do and, basically almost change this epidemic that's still going on?
Right. So with my job, it's my job to help link clients into care who are affected with HIV and AIDS, and to provide
Sorry. So again, sorry. People keep calling. My video's cutting off.
Mr. Trey is calling you? You want to sip tea with Miss D?
I've been waiting to do this with Mr. McFly for a very long time, so I'm not letting anything or anyone interrupt this interview.
Please.
I hope my space is not full for me doing the Met Gala stuff. Because I don't want to...
Oh, that might be the issue.
No.
Your box is full.
So... we were talking about the line of work that you're in now with HIV and AIDS prevention, and you were talking about emotional support.
Right. So as a community health worker, my job is to assist new patients to be there to provide them with emotional support. Just finding out that they are infected with HIV and AIDS. explaining to them that becoming HIV positive is not a death sentence anymore, explaining to them how antiviral medication works, what it means to be virally suppressed, and how to help keep them healthy. And then we have an array of services, resources, medication, social services, housing, and just being that kind of like liaison between the nurse and the doctor. And I enjoy it. It's emotionally draining sometimes.
I think you can handle it though.
It's draining sometimes, but I enjoy it.
Right.
I like the
You're
connection.
pretty strong individuals. I mean, as much as you wrote about in the book and stuff, in the 451 pages.
452.
Close. Mother did her research, she paid attention, right? 451. Have you been back to Salisbury? Or the last, have you took so I don't know how much time we have on this one, so I was asking him before we got rudely interrupted or my space ran out on this. When's the last time, did you go back to Salisbury?
I did not go back to Salisbury. I have no reason to return to the eastern shore of Maryland. That country-ass, ghetto-ass place, no.
It's so funny because I live in Baltimore, so all the places you were talking about, Jessup, Hagerstown, North Avenue, Department of Corrections, Baltimore City, all that kind of shit. Like, I know the stories. And, people be making it like, oh, when are you coming to visit them? When are you coming down? And I'm like, oh, for what? It's just
like visit them at
like my mother is there. My mother and my family is there. Like, we're not from there, but my mother and my sister and my aunt live there. Like, and it, like I said to you, is a second home. But to me, sometimes it's like, I don't think they understand, like, it's not such a nice place.
No, not really, but that's where your family is.
My family,
you gotta pull up on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
No, I'm fine. I can cook my own Thanksgiving food, and I can buy my own Thanksgiving gifts. No shade to the girls, Latoya Jackson, Giggle, and all.
Shade.
But, I have my traumatic things going on there also, so I don't need to go there. So I kind of understand.
Open up those
good old wounds.
Okay, I get that.
So the book is called The Hunt for McFly, Memoirs of a Crafty Girl. Right? Have bitches not stopped talking to you because they're in the book and you didn't tell them they were in the book? Did you get any of that?
No.
Because people really love you, love your story, appreciate and love your story.
The people that stopped talking to me before.
Prior. So it's no shade to it at all anyway, because they stopped talking to you before the book even came out.
So they really gagged when they read it.
Now, are we pushing for a Julius Mc Fly, The Hunt for McFly movie? Lifetime movie?
This book, it definitely has the capability to be a movie. Like, this book can literally be like The Gay Set It Off.
Right.
No shade. It definitely can be. So what I'm in the process of doing is securing a publicist to get it in the right hands for someone to purchase the rights for a screenplay. This can definitely be a movie. That's what I want it to be.
Now, are you going to go into writing any other books?
Yes, I plan on writing another book, but this was a memoir. This is like an autobiography. Mm-hmm. The next book is going to be fiction, so I could really fuck it up and just go in and make.
So can I get a Miss D exclusive? Like, can you give me a hint or like
I haven't even started yet. I haven't even thought of anything yet, but I know that I'm going to do another book. I'm going to start working on it next year, actually.
And anything you want to, any words of advice, encouragement that maybe you can give anyone out there, not necessarily being a crafty girl, but someone who might want to tell their story and write a book?
Since releasing this book, so many people have hit me up on Instagram and Facebook saying you know what? I want to write a book. I've been saying all this time that I want to write a book. There's some things that happened in my life that I think can help someone. I think writing a book would be therapeutic, and I'm just like, do it. I'm telling people the same thing that people told me. Write. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about what it might sound like. Don't worry about grammar. Get everything, just all of your thoughts and your emotions on pad, on paper, in your laptop, in the notes of your phone, and let an editor handle that at the end and put it all together. If you feel like you have a story to tell, you feel like you have a story that can...
You
got a story, bitch, and you feel like it will help someone, or it'll even help you. You know, it'll help you getting it out on paper. Do it. Write it. It will help you. It will help someone, and it'll help maybe even close some wounds that you may have. It might help you open a relationship up for people that you might not speak to in your family because of things that have happened. Write it. Do it.
There you have it.
Be creative. Be great. Be bold. Let it out. Be open. Let it out.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, before we get out of here, I want to say thank you to you. We've been trying to do this for a long time. Yeah. We do a web series together online. You're always busy. You're an advocate. You're all, you're on boats and your champagne and your pum pum shorts. So, I'm so happy that we finally got to do this. We were talking about doing this at the book signing. Yeah. That we had a good time at Corky's, right? Corgy's. The Corgy Distillery in Jersey City. Yes, I fucking love.
Thank you for being an impromptu
host. No problem. I love that night. We had a very good time. I love the experience. I thank you for inviting me and making me a part of it. And I want to say to you, you inspire me to write a book.
You're going to do it?
Yes.
Have you already started?
No. I started in some way because I need a, how do you say it? Not an author. Is it an author? I don't know how do you say it, but I have the book in my head, yes.
Okay.
I know what it's going to be. I mean, it's more to our stories. I don't think I have a memoir per se, but I think I have a good real life fiction, nonfiction kind
of so you want it to be kind of like a
mirrored.
Blend. So it's not going to be purely your experience, but you want to create a story from your experience.
Yes. To give these bitches something to sip some motherfucking tea for. Okay, bitches?
Do it.
Tell them, Julius, where they can find you, your Instagram, the book, what you got coming up next. Maybe, you're doing another book signing, or where they can meet you and sign and buy.
Okay, so my book, my baby, it is available on Amazon. You can order it through the link directly through my Instagram page. At Julius Mc Fly, or I created also an Instagram for the book. It's called The Hunt for McFly. I am Julius Mc Fly on Facebook. I am Julius Mc Fly Life on Twitter. My freak Twitter is...
Give it to him.
It's about the book. I'm really proud of this book. When I tell you, this book is fucking good. I'm so proud of
this book. Can help somebody out there cookie crunching.
Yes, it can help you. It can help you write checks. It can help you
write checks.
Create laminates for fake credit cards. It can help you with PayPal stunts. No, I'm just joking. But I just want to
That's like the scam Bible that the kids are telling people about. That's what's in the scam Bible.
We're going to talk about it. I want to thank you so much for having me. I'm happy that you enjoyed my book. I'm happy that you wanted to interview me and quote me some more.
I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do on Gay Code. I appreciate what you do in general. I appreciate you. On a daily, I get a giggle out of you. On a daily, I watch your fashions and what you talk about, who you talk about, the Sierras and the Nickies, even though, I'm a Kim, But I appreciate Julius Mc Fly. I appreciate The Hunt for McFly. I appreciate my Newark family for showing me love and loving me for
Yes, we got some motherfucking Bronx bunny in Newark.
In Newark. I'm about to go be a Newark prostitute for the night. And I am Ms. D, America's favorite auntie motherfucking uncle, bitch. You can find me on YouTube. Social media is Instagram. There is a Sipping Tea with Ms. D Facebook, but I have to get my Facebook situation together. So that's what I'll be doing in this season. And like I said, thank you to Julius Mc Fly for joining me on my very first episode and my first year anniversary. He's my first guest for season number 2 of Sipping Tea with Ms. D. Even he gave me some good green concoction here.
Yes, shout out to my boy who launched the liquor brand.
Yeah, shout out to you. Drinks is good.
Kamikaze cocktail.
Kamikaze.
Straight out of
delicious.
Newark.
Newark is definitely doing it. If you haven't been to Newark to show Newark some love, Bitches, get across the motherfucking river.
Take the path.
Yes. As always, I'm Miss D, aka America's favorite auntie uncle. This is Sipping Tea with Miss D. Thank you, Julius Mc Fly. Get ready, we got new seasons and new episodes of Gay Code coming out also. Shout out to Esom. I have to show Esom still love the light skinned one with the big butt with the green eyes, that girl. We love her down. And Julius Mc Fly book is available everywhere. We're not just gonna put it on, it's every fucking where. Find it some way.
Goddamn
bitch,
it.
we'll mail it to you. We'll do something to get it to you, bitch. Soon it's gonna be on Kindle so you bitches can read it too, right? Kindle?
She's
Kindle
on
soon?
Kindle.
Oh, she's on Kindle.
Oh, and I'm also working on an audio version.
Yes.
The audio version is going to be nasty because I could really go in with the voices and the stories and the dramatic.
And then you can add some visuals to the audio book.
Right.
But shout out to Mr. McFly for showing Mother some love, and shout out to you. Do what you need to do, and if you need to get at him discreetly, confidently about HIV/AIDS prevention and all those kind of things, social services and all that kind of stuff, he's here for that too. We're still in a fight with that kind of stuff, guys. And if you need help, reach out to me, reach out to somebody, anybody. Okay, anything you need help with, we're here to help you. Sipping Tea with Miss D. Follow, click, like, share, and thank you, bitches. Thank you, bitches. Thank you. And that's it.
Yay. Have fun, baby.
Thank
I can't
you,
wait
baby.
to see you like part together and stuff. When do you think you want to have our like